Welcome back to the Brawl Stars Championships. We're back with the monthly finals, March and EMEA. And we're also back with Trev here. We lost Kenny, unfortunately. But Trev, how did you enjoy the previous match?
I mean, it was a great game. I do think Electros deserve to win it, and there's just so many upsets today. It's completely ruining my predictions over and over and over again. I think I've maybe got 3 right today, which is absolutely pitiful. But honestly, I don't think anybody's going to have perfect predictions today.
I think we had some huge takeaways from today. EMEA is a very unpredictable region. Expect the unexpected, and yeah, just never believe what the casters are saying. Caster curse is real. Now, Ark, heading into our grand finals, Eclipse our Esports versus Team Electros. What a run it has been.
Yeah, I mean, for context, last month, I mean, they were swept by Humble in the quarterfinal stages of February. Not a single game was won by Electros by Eclipse or Esports rather in that match. I mean, what a turnaround today to do the very same thing back to Humble, basically. And I mean, to find themselves in the grand final. I mean, who could have written this script? It's honestly just unbelievable. I mean, they qualified through like the lower bracket stages, to a double match point scenario versus SK Gaming. They're a grueling qualifier, let's be honest. SK Gaming, Reply Totem, Reverso Gaming. I mean, last month, SK Gaming, Reply Totem, these are huge names. And to come into the season and be able to stand the heat against those sort of players and teams, it's quite incredible, really, let's be honest.
Yeah, I will say it's both of these teams' performances are just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it literally is the month of upsets. Nobody could have written this whatsoever. My gut was telling me to go with Eclipse, and I'm sad that I haven't. To be honest with you, I am firmly on the side of Electros in this one because something needs to be salvaged here. But both of these teams thoroughly deserve to be in this position. With the teams they've beat today, with the teams that have beaten qualifiers, it's just like the most deserving grand final I've ever seen in my entire life.
And I just with Trav so I can ensure that I'm ahead of him by the end of today.
Yeah.
Let's see if that's going to happen. Just a very quick note for everybody watching at home. Very important for you to know that if your predictions are not playing anymore, you can redo your prediction before each match. So definitely make sure to do that now because I'm pretty sure nobody saw that coming. Eclipse versus Electros in the finals, and you see the casters are pretty in unison once again. I decided to be the one this time to march to a different tune here because Ark, you kind of were lucky the last time around. I tried to give it a shot myself.
Excuse me, I think luck had nothing to do with it. I think skill had everything to do with it, and faith, most importantly, in Rama. But I admire you, Sonny, because ultimately, if you get this right, then we end the day on a high, and Trav and Kenny on a low. If it's Electros, then I win overall. I can't really lose much in this scenario. I've never been here before.
You can lose along with me, Ark. We'll just go down together. Overall the weekend will be equal. So that's what I really care about. The overall weekend. Obviously 53% though to Eclipse, 47 to Electros. Honestly, it's around about where I would expect the audience to be going after Eclipse's performances today, who they've beaten and how convincingly they beat Humble. I'm not surprised that they are going to be up in the public vote.
We're heading into the very first draft of our grand finals. We're on the map. Last stop is Gem Grab, and we need a mid. We need 2 lanes that can rush their opponents and give the mid some space to collect gems, and we already have the bans in here. Stu banned out here from the side of Team Electros, as well as Hank and Janet. All 3 of them, I think, are great brawlers to have. Gus left open, one of the best mids that you can still have on this one, as well as 8-bit. Let's see if they're going to be picked up. First pick, though, by Eclipse is one of those aggressive brawlers that I've been talking about. Ollie has been left open, so that's surely a good pick for Eclipse, and maybe to make my prediction happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really solid. There's no other way to put it. At least Hank was banned this time, but then again, it's the Team Electros that value it and valued it in the previous series more so. So certainly the lane sides, I think the Janet bans on both sides are necessary, but Lola's still much that kind of equal to her when that is the case. So I feel like that could be a brawler which will show its face, Mr. P. Yeah, I mean, Electros are just literally waiting for that given moment where a brawler that should be banned is not banned, and then just not hesitating to pick it up. So again, the setup time is going to be needed for Mr. P, so it's not going to be just unstoppable into that moment in time. But when that hypercharge is there, I mean, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, the Mr. P it's extremely valid, and the same with the Max. Another great pick on last stop too. Two very good picks coming out of Electros, but you know, it's not to say that the Eclipsars wasn't. Ollie's got to be picked up first if it's left open. We've seen how strong it is today, and I'm sure we'll continue to see how strong it is through this one as well, because it's just a massive, massive force to be reckoned with, and something that Electros are going to have to be extremely scared of. Just dragging, you know, someone with a large amount of gems back towards the spawn with that hypnosis is definitely going to be a big help if they get that opportunity. Melody along with it as well, and this is some draft.
Yeah, very aggressive ideas. You know, is Melody in mid? I'm assuming he must be, because, like, in terms of the map, you don't really want your notes to be, you know, shining through the grass. You want to be hidden. So, I guess dashing in and dashing out might be the way here, and maybe not with the Poco to help with his heals. I mean, you know, again, we're in unknown territory here, Trav, in the biggest sense of the word. Two teams that have got the most, you know, explorational drafts that we've seen. And again, coming out of East Asia yesterday, I did say that I felt like, in our closing thoughts for EMEA, like, now I think about it, my closing thoughts were that I thought the teams were going to be in the grand finals that were the quickest to be able to adapt to what is the biggest meta shift and gadget changes that we've seen. And that makes the most sense. But Eclipsar Esports and Team Electros, that's what they are like. These drafts are wild, the meta is wild, and they're being outlandish with a multi-spinal pick. I mean, I don't really see it particularly working into a massive amount. We're already going to target the Poco, and it's going to have to cycle. But, I mean, in the hands of Team Electros, I actually kind of like it, because there's such an aggressive team with the Max, the Mortis. I mean, you know, it's quite scary, but is it going to work?
I mean, we saw the Mortis being played into Eclipsar earlier when it was, I believe, Angel Boy playing it, and it really did not work whatsoever. Every time it went in, it got shut down instantly. So I imagine, as you say, he's probably going to be focusing in on that Poco, trying to just chain off them, get the gems, and, you know, one quick swoop and get out. But for the rest of the game, if he's on Sabim and this Ollie, I'm not sure how I like his chances.
Well, again, maybe it's on it, and maybe this is probably the best player on that side of the field to play a Mortis. So I've got faith in it, but let's see how he does. So far, Nob having to heal up and coming back there. Sabim does get the upper hand there. The tough thing to have to retake now is Marco going super aggressive straight to the eye of the storm and actually surviving on. Gems dropped, but should be okay in the spawn side, but it's the time that's lost in the mid that's my concern.
Well, Nob still 2 gems in hand, but 5 on the other side. Hypercharge comes in for Marco, and down he goes. Not able to get too much value out of that, to be honest with you. That would have been a lovely little swoop in and take down there, but caught in a tough position now. Really good stuff there. Ollie going back in for those gems instead of just getting out and playing with his life, but a Hypercharge used and actually throws it down in a bit of a compromised position, but it shouldn't matter because Nob already has the 10 gems, and what a turnaround this was from Electros.
Yeah, look how aggressive Nob is in the spawn side here. A chance here for Marco to pull out some incredible feat here, as the gems are with Nobs, the best person to really duke around the situation, but low HP as well. Coming in now with the hypnosis, but taken care of in just the nick of time, but the piercing damage is there, and now the gems are with on the other side of the field. Can they get them out? No, back in the hands of Mabius. Oh my word.
Just about claw onto them, but Marco has another super. Max just trying to keep him low, but Poco will keep him in the mix. Mebius in the back right-hand side, Sabim, I think he probably knows it, just trying to make sure he's not in that bush there. Marco goes left anyway, but not going to be able to make it in time. Oh, 950, just about survives after getting clipped by a few of those notes by the Melody. And Electros going to win game 1, but honestly, I don't know if it was that convincing. It wasn't massively, like, their side. The gems were actually for the majority of the game on the opposing side.
Yeah, they fed into Rumble way too much in that right-hand side lane, didn't they? On the side of Eclipsar Esports, they just really gave them the hype charge immediately, and that just was where the tides were changed. You can see the gems just dropped and scattered, and then they were quickly back over with Team Electros. But you're right, I mean, for the most part, the control was on the side of Eclipsar Esports. So back now into the perspective of Eclipsar, and I guess to learn from that mistake, quite a costly one. They had good control, good gems in their side for the majority of the game, but again, maybe it's in this more, it is quite a scary prospect.
Yeah, Marco making the moves again. Maybe it's not being clipped by that. Seemed like he was getting hit by it, but actually chose to go in instead of just coming back out. And Biso just going to heal up his teammates, try keep them in this aggressive position. Rama just going to come forward, try to get a bit of this supercharge, because those porters are a big, big part in winning this game. Mebius has the super in hand, going to go towards Biso, throws the super down, doesn't really connect with Marco. Not the best of cycles from him, and now the hypercharge will bounce into the offensive lines and steal some gems along the way, take out the Mr. P, and still have a super to get out.
just about. I think that they could have got the gems there if they wanted to close the gap there with the speed. But Nob wants to save for his teammates, so I don't blame him for it. But there's not going to be much time now with the gems at 9, or maybe it's taken care of as well. Hypercharges all round, and Sabine going in big time with the Hypnosis, going to connect with Rama, and now Nob has got nothing ready to show for himself except low HP. At the moment, it's just diving ideas being made by Team Electros. The Hypercharge from Mavis might be able to bring something back here. Just a little bit of time to spend in the mid, but I don't know whether this final gem is going to be in the hands of Electros or not.
Yeah, Hypercharge available from Nob, and Mebius does have a gem in hand. Obviously, it's not going to matter now that Mr. P Porter's come down, but that might be a bit of a defensive placement with only 12 seconds left. Sabine just trying to keep people low. Mebius looming, waiting for his opportunity to go in. Hypercharge being used by Melody now, and Mebius will take this opportunity to try and go in. Mebius so low, but they can't get in. The super's there from Mebius, so gets the takedown, gets the reset, and Sabine will fall as well. Hypercharge from Mebius, actually not anymore. Super's still available low, and he's ready to go in again.
They're already preying on these Hypercharge portals to pull in the goods. Marco is low, no notes to Sagaska away either. The takedown is there, and the gems are dropped yet again from Team Electros. But can they get them out? That is the question. Another reset would be good. Maybe get some, but he's going to be overstaying his welcome. It seems the notes will take care of him. In the meanwhile, the gems are still being collected from the mid. 7 now into the pocket of Electros. They need another reset.
I don't know if they're going to get it. Mr. P is there, and the Porter's coming up. Should be able to tank a good amount. Mortis back in. Is he close to a super? Gets it, but gets hypnotized along the way. And this time, ECP will survive on. Marco goes to the left-hand corner and takes this game back to their side.
I agree with you about the Porter's placement. It was a bold decision at the time, but it kind of made sense that, Team Electros were playing the long game. They were kind of hoping to bring it back to like a bit of a mid position there. It just wasn't quite the case. If it had been a bit more aggressively forwards, it might have helped them out a lot more than it actually did in the end, because those Porters would have been respawning faster to the field, and they just didn't want to take that risk, and I kind of see why, but still, that may have been the mistake in that situation there for Team Electros.
Mebius not able to get much done. And he has been doing a lot, I will say. These supers that he's managed to cycle in the backside and try to flank round, try and get Beasto down, but he just couldn't get the gems out in the last one. And Melody able to pretty much do the exact same thing as the Mortis, but just in a better, more secure fashion for ECP. And 3 gems early on to only the 1 of Electros, and Sabine's going to go in as well and try to take that one off them. Supers into the back corner, but seems like a bit of a waste in the end.
And Marco survived there as well. Hypercharge available for him now. And again, those Mr. P Porters are going to help aid those notes to go straight in with that. And look at this, absolutely disgusting. Finds Rama looking now for Nob, gets Nob down as well. And Mavis has got nowhere to go, straight into things. Wasting potentially a bit of a super there, because unless he could cycle another one out of it, not going to be doing too much except going down.
Sabine. Super on the right hand side, and only 1 gem needed. He can go in for it if he wants to, but just waiting it out, playing it slow, because they have a massive lead and no need to real lunge in and take any risks. But Robert trying to get his hypercharge turret so close to it as well, or at least the hypercharge, and the gem spawns on their side. Maybe he's going to have to dash in and get it. Hypercharge used, and a super away from Sabine. Now we see him going in, might be able to get a kill, does get it, and there's the gem to start the count as well. Maybe is quite low and unable to really make any moves, but the Mr. P Porters and the hypercharge are coming in now.
Yeah, an aggressive position, but it could have been even more so in my opinion, but nonetheless, speed coming in from Nob and a chance to get a reset if they can get the kills that they need. Can they do so? That's the question. There's a low HP on the Poco there. Marcus surviving on, but Beasto then gets the heal and survives it on for Eclipse Esports, who gain the set and turn things around. My word, I mean, really commendable, because, I mean, we were saying going into that first game that for the majority of it, they had the control, but they did make the blunder, the mistake that was costly and allowed Electros to get the game. In the end, Electros bring it back to some extent, but not enough to get the set.
I really like to see that draft, I'm not gonna lie. Also to see them playing this one out. It's really proving to be a match worthy of a grand final. The Max Mortis comp really suited Electro's aggressive playstyle. At the same time, we had Marco going aggressively again and again, unpunishable almost, thanks to the poker heals from the back. So yeah, a really exciting match here, Trev.
I mean, to be honest, it was one of the scrappiest games of Brawl Stars I've seen in a while, but it was very entertaining. It was just Marco and Sabine going in constantly, and Mebius going in constantly, and in this matchup, the Melody's just doing anything that the Max and Mortis can and more just by herself. He's at 19. Absolutely ridiculous performance from him. So good, and it's just a very good draft from ECP. And I'm not saying Electros isn't, but the Mortis was a little bit wild at the end. I think I'm not saying it didn't play well either, because he did have some extremely good moments. But I do think that Eclipse just had a much better draft.
Yeah, I feel like I still feel like Roma could have placed some more aggressive placements in that Porters. I think that they were just kind of trying to, like I said, play the long game in that regard. But I mean, there was definitely some great moments of potential resets and some moments where I thought like maybe Electros could run away with things, but in the end it just wasn't quite enough. So going into pinhole punt next and a chance to reset. But again, I think this is a strong mode for Team Electros. It could then be quite a battle. But you know, like I said, I mean, these two teams are pretty closely matched, it seems.
It does seem to be that way. Again, it's proving to be a match worthy of a final. I like to see that with two teams that we haven't really seen coming into the finals, and yet still we're seeing Brawl Stars at its finest. As you mentioned, Ark, this is going to be a mode that suits Electros quite well. They usually do quite well in Brawl Ball overall, Pinhole Punt, a map that they haven't played so far today, I believe, but still, they should know what they're doing. Heading into the draft now, Trev, we see Mr. P, Hank, B, banned out here. A lot of long range, a lot of those annoying brawlers that are banned out seemingly every single set and mode.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame him for getting banned out either, really. Lou going to be the first pick coming in from Eclipsar. It's just one of those picks, isn't it? So versatile, so good, no matter what the map, no matter what the mode. Lou's pretty much always there, a very good countermeasure to tanks, and pretty good against the majority of brawlers as well, so a very solid first pick.
Well, I always like to see the Hank ban. Please keep it there, Electros. It's been a bit unfortunate with the coin toss, it seems, so far at the moment, but Mr. P as well, and the B's stuff all round. I think Max, would be definitely the play again, one of which we haven't seen a great amount of. Yeah, exactly. It's a very Electros pick. It's also a very kind of Eclipse or Esport pick, so a good time to get it off their hands. It wasn't really working out too well for SK Gaming earlier today, but I feel like it's definitely maybe a brawler and a half. And combined with the Ollie, yeah, I mean, it's definitely very a daunting prospect. Now, the Ollie playing into the Lou, though, is definitely a concern that Eclipse Esports might want to double down on with another 10 counter. Surge wouldn't be the worst of ideas for me on this particular map. I think it's a decent shout. Bring the speed gear as well and just try to have that help if you're deprived of stacks. But certainly, considering the fact that if there's a wall break idea, it's a very tough thing with a Surge to make work under pressure. Frank coming in, bold ideas, and Berry. Okay, Eclipse Esports, we see ya.
Yeah, these guys just know how to draft. Like, Frank Berry is just absolutely incredible, and especially against the Ollie as well. Frank's one of the only things that's going to be very, very solid against the Ollie. Ollie just doesn't have the DPS to deal with such a tanky brawler like Frank, and even if you are hypnotizing him and bringing him back to your team, you can be putting your team in peril if he comes out of that with too much HP. So it's something you've got to be very, very cautious about, and the Berry along with it as well. Keeping him topped up, keeping him healed, and Colette forced to be brought in by Team Electros at the end, just because Eclipse have that tank. They need something against it.
Yeah, I quite like the Colette pick for that reason. I think that's, when you're faced into a Frank and a heavy healer behind it, then Colette is going to have to work overtime. And again, that's the reservation. We saw that, didn't we, in Heist earlier when the 8-bit had to really carry, and it didn't really do that. And that was the letdown of the comp in the end. So for Team Electros, that Colette player is going to be working overtime and needs to bring in some healthy DPS because, I feel like, again, it reminds me of that set where they're not really drafting in their full potential. Max as well, standing still, a little bit slow to the mark there for Mabius. That's my one reservation, is that Mabius on this Max pick, I feel like he's very, very dangerous. He's probably one of the best Max players in this region. And look at that, complete steam roll there, and a wide open goal in the first 15 seconds for Team Electros.
Marco just getting healed up by the Berry, but so much coming in. Brahma's going to miss that super, actually not going to be good for him. Nob goes for the jump over the top, tries to drag him back, but I mean, Berry's just getting completely healed up along the... Frank's getting healed up by the Berry all the way along, and really nice stuff there from Eclipsar to bounce back. It was a little bit unfortunate that Rama did miss his super, and he's going to have to definitely focus down and make sure he's connected. Nob's just gone. Surely that's going to be... Oh, he stopped. Didn't manage to get it in, but it's still a 3v1. What can Sabine do at this point? We'll see if he's able to defend it. He does get a stun off, and the pass almost comes through. Shots, Rama sliding, just about slides it in. I wasn't sure what was happening there. That's going to be the game for Electros, though, and a good bounce back from the bounce back.
Yeah, a wild potential defense, but one that was almost there and paying dividends for Eclipsar Esports. But no, again, Rama, I've got a few questions about. Sometimes he does tend to have a few choky moments. We saw it on the Eve earlier in Heist, and we're seeing it there a little bit there, just like missing the supers. I'm a little bit concerned, especially considering that he's playing the most important brawler, in my opinion, in this comp, aside from Mabius as well. Let's see now. Nice jump from Nob. Gets the hypnosis in just the nick of time there, but not enough for the ball to still get to Sabine's feet at 60 HP. He gets the goal on the ball for Eclipsar Esports.
Not moving forwards. Super straight past everyone. What a knock that is from the berry there to stop him from getting the goal. Marco just getting healed up by the berry. And able to push pretty much all the way through back into the bush, evading some shots nicely. Berry throws another bit of ice cream onto him, gets the heals. Now supers through, moves to the right-hand side. And Marco just continuously pushing through. Nob waiting for the opportune moment to go in, but Rama on the right-hand side, super in hand. And so much is going on right now. Biso trying to find this shot through, and that is going to be 1-1 as quick as that.
What a scrap. You know, it really is an absolute scrap, isn't it? Every step of the way, every set, it seems like the comps are just such where it's so back and forth and chaotic in its nature. But hey, if that's where we're at in terms of the meta, that's where we're at. And clearly everyone else today wasn't prepared for it. Now we're seeing that was the key, you know, bringing chaos into the monthly finals. And we've got the two teams that really brought that same vibe together. So again, Rama gonna have to go in now and get some good value, get Marco down low. Marco's the problem for me on the Eclipsar Esports squad that is not being taken care of. Ball slip through to Nob, and that's going to be in, surely in. A nice goal for Team Electros as Eclipsar Esports drop the ball.
And what a pass that was. That was absolutely ridiculous. It's a little thread through. And the finish by Nob, great as well. Marco just trying to push up and equalise for his team, but he's just getting battered by absolutely everyone. Berry throws down a super to try and make the move. Marco trying to get forwards, but he will be hypnotised and surely brought down. But Berry just non-stop heals, and Marco actually gets the kill. Sabine will get one as well. Biso moving forwards, hypercharge in hand, but they're not going to waste any of this. Now they have 2 hypercharges and 3 supers. It's going to be tough for Electros.
This is a must-score goal here for Team Electros to get this set, because they're going to be really up against it if they don't. Now, a lot of hypercharges on the map, and that's a huge stun from Sabine, a huge hammer down from Marco as well. Now, break all the walls, and it should be an easy walk through for Eclipsar Esports, and they do. They get the sets, and this is now looking very scary for Team Electros. 2 sets ahead now.
I might be finished. I might be 3-7 by the end of today in my predictions. This is not looking good, but Eclipse are looking on top of the world, and honestly, after the run they've had today, and the 2 sets that we've just seen, thoroughly deserving of the position that they're in right now. Really, really nice stuff from Eclipse are across the board. Electros, they had their moments. They had some really nice plays, some really nice passes, but in the end, Eclipse are just overpowered them and just walked through.
Yeah, I don't mind my predictions right now, Trev. I know it's scary,
a lot can
but
change.
Everything's still open. Even after 2-0, we've seen it before today as well. A reverse sweep is still possible. ECP is doubling down here on the idea of having a healer in their comp. In Gem, it was Poco, now Berry. The last pick from Electros, I thought they had the perfect answer here with Colette. Her percentage-based attack, she can just shred through tanks like Frank, but it still wasn't enough. The Frank was just able to walk through, and Marco played it phenomenally well. He timed the super so well to just break down not only the walls, but also stun his opponents and just walk it in.
Yeah, he was just not being dealt with enough, and I said, no, Roman needs to be on top of this. Like, it puts a lot of pressure on a single member or a single brawler on the squad when you're just a little bit behind the draft, or you're not quite seeing the strategy that's looking to be employed by your opposition, and that's what we needed. And this is where Electros are faltering sometimes. It's the case with every team. Sometimes the draft just doesn't quite go your way, and you're playing catch up. You're trying to wrap a bandage around the situation, and you're bleeding out. And he just didn't really bring it home for his team in that instance.
As I said, though, everything is still open. This could be a 3-0 sweep through the finals like we had in the February monthly finals. It could also very well be a reverse sweep, or at least a set taken by Electros. Now heading into Layer Cake, that's a map that Eclipsar actually has already played in the quarterfinals. Big question now, is this an advantage for Electros or for Eclipsar? Electros knows what Eclipsar likes to play in this map. At the same time, Eclipsar has prepared this map thoroughly also already for the quarterfinals, Trev.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Eclipse are going to be in a great position now because they've prepared this map a lot. They'll have alternatives. They'll have different comps because, listen, I'm just going to say it. Eclipse are probably won't have expected to get any further than the semis. They might have expected to beat Totem. They probably won't have scrimmed any further than that. So it's a very good thing for them that this map has recycled and come back to them in the grand finals. It's something that they will have been practicing a lot to get through those quarters against Reply Totem. Bans should be coming in very, very shortly, but I do think it's Eclipse who have the advantage coming into this one.
We're heading into the draft. I mentioned before, Eclipse played this map already in the quarterfinals. They played Juju, B, and Ollie. So let's see if those are going to be open. Yes. So Electros decides to not ban those brawlers, even though they know they like to ban them. Now, is Eclipse taking the bait or not is here the huge question. Going for a different strat, so Trev was right. They do have other options.
Janet's always a must ban for me on Layer Cake now, so it's good that both sides are valuing it that highly. But ultimately, I'm not a fan of it. We see Angelo a lot here for some reason. I mean, in the back spawn sides, it has some maneuverability, but I'm not a fan of it myself. Juju, though, again, can be that brawler on defense to be able to utilize that little area of the map. But I think if you're catering too much towards that little lakeside, you're not really focusing on the big picture, which is the middle of the map, and not being in the back spawn. Artie going to be coming in with Team Electros here, and let's see what they follow up with. But certainly throws are an option. But again, an early stage in the draft, it's a tough thing to call.
Yeah, well, Artie, I like that a lot. It's a very, very solid pick, and especially when Eclipse Esports might want to play that Ollie, go into you can gadget, super, and obliterate him pretty much before he even hypnotizes you. So probably a good shout, and it's going to be very good for those defenses, the offenses if necessary as well, and Grey coming in as well. Another great brawler for Team Electros to pick up. Just so good at the moment, so good, so versatile. The hypercharge is very, very good, and yeah, you just set up those TPs and you're going to be in a great spot for the majority of the game.
Great pick, the Grey. It's going to deter the idea of throwers big time for Eclipser, and can also open up the map a great deal with the Walking Cane as well. So definitely something to think about. The loot, it's definitely difficult when you've got that hypercharge stun, and you're on the ropes, you're on the back lines, and then that comes in, and Ollie as well. Yeah, that's monthly final winning material comp in the making right here for me. Ollie can just power through, jump over the walls, have the hypnosis land itself, and they're going to have a big defensive measure now on the side of Electros when the coin toss goes back over to them. I think that getting the Lou was the best answer for it, and Eclipse have done that, and Berry now as well. Yeah, I feel like this is the winning comp, honestly, before I even see the final brawler.
Barley is the final brawler. Can't say I would have expected that, to be honest with you, but I don't mind it. I really don't. You're going to need something to be able to throw over the walls against the Berry, against the Ollie. I will say Ollie can jump over the wall, so you're going to have to be quite careful about that positioning you put yourself in. But I actually quite like both of these comps, to be honest with you. The Ollie always scares me no matter what, and especially with the Berry along with it too. A little bit scared for Electros, but I don't think it's necessarily a losing comp from them.
I really prefer Eclipse Esports, if I'm honest. I'm open to this working, but I just feel like there's so much going for Eclipse Esports with this. They got the amount of heals off the back of the Berry. The Barley's going to have some, but I feel like Berry's still better. It's still more aggressive in that regard. And the Ollie, it's going to be quite hard to deal with. He's going to have that TP as an escape measure for sure. Nice break already with the Walking Cane, that top left-hand side there. But I think Nob's going to have his work cut out for him as well. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll see. We'll see it play it out, but I do prefer what Eclipse Esports are running with.
Marco receiving some heals now as well, and they are in a bit of a tough position considering they're going to have to push into it now, and with Biso just kind of healing Marco rather than assisting Sabim over the right-hand side. Oh, what a pull that is from Nob. Great stuff from him. The little Walking Cane back and the finishing blow. I'm pretty sure they're just going to wait until he comes back up, but the respawn times aren't that bad, so already back in action is Marco. And now it's a 3-star lead to Electros.
Yeah, good start. Solid start at that, but now Eclipse Esports are retaking the mid-control and starting to push then back into that side of things. We're now with Team Electros. Hypercharge available for Nob as well. Trying to get some good value from Rama, and what a splash that's going to be for the last call as well. Stuff, but it's the hypercharge of Biso that I'm worried about. more Herbal Tonic coming in, keeping his teammates really healthy in that regard. You know, it's looking good so far. That's a great walking cane. I mean, I was saying that Nob's going to have his work cut out, and he's actually really landing the mark. So I'm having faith now, honestly, but it can turn very quickly in this scenario. Nice hyper charge there from Biso. Maybe it's out of position now as well, and the Hypnosis is going to take its toll, and that's going to be the first time damage there for Eclipse Esport.
Yeah, not a great trade either, really. With 15 seconds on the clock, you kind of want your team up with you. Good kill on the backline, though. Marco solo, Barry providing some heals, but they're going to be spawned directly on, and Nob's got 6 stars. Not looking good for them whatsoever. Biso staying alive just a little bit longer, but it's 15-4 at the end of it, and Team Electros get the game, and ECP in a tough spot.
Yeah, it's working far better than I gave it credit for. I give it that, but I'm still worried. I think the Berry and the Ollie is very scary, but the control was there. That was a much better showing there, honestly, from Team Electros for me. Better composure. You know, normally against this kind of comp that I've seen today, they tend to crumble a little bit. It requires a great deal of communication and landing those shots, not having any whiffs along the way, and that was exactly that for Team Electros. So to keep this up, they might survive on a little bit longer here.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Pinned back into the spawn. ECP do have the lead, though, which means we might see a little bit of a different game with Electros having to push into them, but Sabine taking so many shots and super over to the right-hand side. Not really going to be finding many connections, just cutting off ECP's route back to home. And Marco trying to get some shots in. Great connection on Mebius there, forcing him even further back. And also the Herbal Tonic doesn't even find him either. So, will be required to heal on his own, and Lou's clipping, honestly, doing really well. And Ollie got the super now, but might be a risk to go in when you're up.
Yeah, not being forced back this far was because of the freeze and just had no choice, had to evade the shots from Marco to really not be frozen out of the question. Hypercharge for Nob now available as well, as Bisa coming in with some huge area splash now. Last call from Rama, big heals coming down as well. And it's going to be a tough thing. Look at the actual flank that we're seeing on the top right-hand side as well, as maybe it's really deflated that entire push. It's still just the 1 star on the clock as we approach 45 seconds that is separating both teams. No kills, no deaths.
Yeah, well, just waiting in the backlines, letting Berry just heal them up, and should be able to pretty much get a lot of supers if they're all stacking like this. Going to go forwards now. Rama going to get controlled and brought back, killed. There's the walking cane, though, not going to find it just yet. And we're back to spawn as Rama got taken down. It's 25 seconds on the clock, or match point to Eclipsar will be coming up next.
Yeah, a bit of a late walking cane for me, but maybe he didn't have it available to hand, but definitely a precarious position now with 15 seconds, and saying that it's going to be a turnaround in the side of Team Electros here. Last call now, the hypercharge, there's a low HP Lou there as well. He goes down. That's the lead over to Team Electros now as well. RT legs go down as well. Sabine is low. Sabine gets it though, and the blue star, 5 stars for Eclipse Esports, and they get it as well in the final seconds. That was insane.
That was ridiculous. Marco played it so well. All of the ECP guys somehow managed to cling on there. I have no clue how he didn't die. In the end, he had 2 players on him, the RT, and survived it out. Absolutely ridiculous from him. Solid plays, but I just have no clue how he survived.
I saw the RT legs and I thought there's just no way that he survives that. I mean, just unreal. The timing of that scenario was crazy to me, and I thought Electros had that, honestly. I was really keeping an eye on the blue star because it was going down so quickly. Love to see that replay back. Unreal stuff from Eclipse Esport.
Yeah, Sabine quite low, but Berry's heals will now be taking effect. And it is a 3-star lead. A lot of work to do for Team Electros now, and especially because they were behind for such a long period in that last game. You got to question if they're going to try make this aggressive push early, because it was time that really made them lose it.
Sabine now low HP on that Ollie side as well. Good approach there from Rama to really land those bottles. Does get the kill, making it a 1-star differential now. Definitely a good scenario. Look at that with Rama now having hypercharge quite early on in the game as well, and a good spot to use it, mirroring the opposition as well, swapping lanes. I think it's quite the smart approach here as well to keep on the Berry. Good walking cane now as well. Surprised that Rama didn't go in immediately with the last call there. Maybe some miscommunication once again, and that might prove costly. 4 stars and 7. Look at the trades actually in favor of Team Electros now. 1 star ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they managed to come away with that, but the Rama Hypercharge was definitely a big help in that situation. Still, an Ollie Super is available, and the berry heals will continue to come through. Now he goes in, might want to jump towards it as well. Good heals there. Nice little mind control, brings him back. The Hypnotize was beautiful, and Mebius might be picked up here as well. They're going aggressive for him. Going to try and get it in the backlines, but Rama just left there. Nob still might be able to get the takedown on Bisso. He's not going in for the TP, just trying to get the shots, and I'm surprised he didn't TP to the other side of Ollie to try and get that there, but the Herbal Tonic's down, and they are down by 5 now.
5 stars in 10 seconds is what Electros need. Otherwise, the Clipstar Esports will claim their first monthly final win ever. Nob has got the TP. He's going to get the Walking Cane connection as well going in now, but actually going back a bit of a miss potentially here, but 11 stars to 14, 16 now to 11, and Clipstar Esports have done it. They are your monthly final champions for March and their first ever monthly finals win.
That is absolutely mental. Like, how this has happened, I'll never know. I doubted them in the first game, never mind the rest of them. I predicted against them 3 times, and they've won every single time. I'm having a nightmare today, but what a win this is for Eclipsar Esports. Hugely deserved. They've beaten pretty much every big team there is to beat in Brawl Stars, and just claimed the crown for themselves.
Trav, you dropped your crown, mate, but let me pick it up for you. You're still my hero. You're still my predictions master, mate. But hey, it happens to the best.
I appreciate it. You know what? I appreciate it. That's the first time you've ever actually said that, so I appreciate that.
I thought I would take over that crown now, but it's okay, honestly. I'm just so happy for the guys from Eclipsar Esports. Congratulations to them once again. Marcus, Sabim, and Beezer can now count a monthly final win amongst their achievements. That's crazy to say, honestly, but so well deserved. They really love to have that healer in their midst, playing a healer every single round in the finals, picking that berry now again in the last one. Then Lou just cycling his ults like crazy, tapping. Ollie just overall a phenomenal brawler, especially in the hands of Eclipsar. They could not have done anything better, I feel, Trev.
Yeah, I mean, Bravo played it so well. He saw a lot of moments with 5, and he's got a lot of DPS in there as well. Nob with 8 kills. Mebius wasn't able to secure 1, and his DPS not that high either. But really good play across the board from Eclipsar Esports. You see the whole team taking effect, doing their part. Whereas it kind of seems like there may be a little few drops here and there from Team Electros, and I was very surprised that, especially in that second game, I believe it was, that Electros didn't take it just by the RT's legs dropping, and I felt the kill should have been there.
I mean, maybe it's a tough one, really, on 0 there, but I mean, I think Nob did fantastically well regardless. I mean, just great drafts from Eclipsar Esports today. I think that Electros did well to get to this stage of the competition. I think that we had the best grand finals that we could have had. The teams that we had were the ones that deserved to be here, knocking down the teams of which they did. So, I mean, you can't complain. EMEA always has twists and turns along the way. Sure, it can just bury our predictions, but that's the best part about it, in my opinion. You never know what to expect.
I do feel like you had a good point there, Ark. Nob was doing phenomenally well. That first round that Electros ended up winning was all him, hitting his walking canes constantly. But then on the other side, we also had a heavy hitter. You folks at home voted, and the MVP for the grand finals of the EMEA March monthly finals is Marco once again. Trev, not really surprising, is it?
No, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't have been able to pick out a single Eclipsar player today that was the MVP. I mean, Marco thoroughly deserving of this in this game, but throughout their entire run through the monthly finals today, the entire squad has just played absolutely amazing. The drafting was incredible. The gameplay was incredible. The synergy these guys have is absolutely wild again. But I'm not sure if anybody could have predicted this happen, but I couldn't be happier that they've managed to get this win.
We're gonna bring back our 4th caster here as well, Kenny. I really hope you enjoyed the grand finals. You watched it from the backlines. Did you expect a 3-0 sweep?
I did not, and I'm throwing a hand up. This is a hand up moment. I might not know ball. We all might not know ball. I mean, it would have been better to hit the lottery today. It's been an unbelievable show, and while the predictions go down the drain, the result, the entertainment value, so high. I mean, an awesome day to watch, to be honest with you. Really impressed with the Eclipsar Esport, and like I said, I heard rumors down the grapevine that they had some trouble scrimming just due to availability and things like that, so the fact that they were to take down Titans the entire day is just wild to me.
I hope you took that time in the grand finals, Kenny, to process what just happened today, because it was pure chaos. Please guide us through the bracket of today.
I mean, just looking back, it is pretty unbelievable to look at this. I mean, Humble start of the day, for example, with a 3-0, and then they get 3-0'd by Eclipse our Esport, who go on to 3-0 Team Electros. And I mean, we have Foot Esports, previous world champions, going down in the semifinals. We have SK Gaming going down in the Thriller earlier on today. Honestly, just a wild showing for today. And it's rare that we have this many upsets. I hope the folks at home were predicting match by max. Remember, even if you mess up, you can still participate in the event website, get that Pro Pass XP. I know I needed to do that because I'm definitely down for the count in terms of getting that spray this weekend.
I mean, yeah, with our predictions today, we probably all lost out on some pro rank points. To me, this day proved just once again how unpredictable our region really is. Within just 1 month, everything can change. The two teams from the finals last month didn't even make it into the grand finals this month. Some teams that made it for the first time this time, Totem Esports, for example, we expected them to be here all season long, and they didn't even make it to the monthly finals last month. And that also means we're probably going to have a look at a totally changed leaderboard every single month arc.
Yeah, absolutely. So, oh, look at that. Look at that. Tied a piece between SK Gaming and Eclipse our Esports as a result of them having overall the exact same number of points. I mean, really quite crazy that we've got such a tight-knit process. I mean, for me, I think that's just over East Asia. I mean, this is what I want to see. I want to see it come down to the next monthly final to determine who is going to make the Brawl Cup. And I mean, you know, Electros on 89, 99 for Humble. I mean, you know, for Esports not even out of the conversation either. I mean, it's really going to be an intense monthly finals, isn't it, for April?
I gotta say, I feel like even Heretics is like they might even have a chance. It all comes down to the qualifiers. That's the thing. I really hope that we have so many of these teams getting through to the monthly finals, so we can actually have it play out here rather than like it depend so heavily on if people actually make it here or not. Because there's going to be a few teams out of 8. Not every single one of those is going to make it. Let's be real. So yeah, I really hope a lot of them make it, and we have it play out in the monthly final rather than the qualifiers being a big part in deciding who makes it to that Brawl Cup.
All in all, I think it's safe to say that EMEA so far this month shapes up to be the most unpredictable and competitive region of them all. I definitely know what my takeaways of the day are. Expect the unexpectable. What are yours? Mark, we go down the line. You start.
Ban Hank, you done? On to Straff?
I will also say ban Hank, but also you both said pretty much exactly what I want to say. Expect the unexpected, because I don't know if anybody. Actually, I think I saw OU, the Chinese player. I saw it on Twitter whilst I was off. He'd predicted 6 for 6, and he predicted it in the finals as well. That man's gone 7-0. I don't know how he's managed to do it, but clearly that guy knows something the rest of us don't.
Honestly, wizardry out of him. A really impressive day, and it's going to come down to Brawl Cup next month. I mean, there's teams like Reply Totem, and I think Heretics now, if you get 50 points for winning a monthly finals, I think they're out of the equation at this point. So the fact that we have some new names that might take it, it's just more the reason to watch next month.
Well summarized, you guys. Again, I had a blast today with you. Once again, a huge shout out also to our production today. They truly worked over hours today. We're back next Saturday with the South and North American region. I hope to see you all tune in again for day 3 and 4 of the Brawl Stars Championships. See you then.
Bye.